Hey everyone, welcome back to the Black and Rowdy show. So there's been so much going on today, it's just been insane. So I'm gonna try and be try to stay on subject on the topic as much as possible. So today's show we're gonna talk about colorism and interracial dating. So a lot of people different people wanted me to talk about this, especially colorism. So for those who don't know, well, we'll get into it and we'll be able to kind of iron that out. So let's go ahead and introduce everybody. So hey everybody, like what's up? Like let's say hi everybody. There's Mike, Arian,
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
yeah,
Hey,
Brian,
hello.
and Tanya. Thank you for all joining. Um, so what do you think about this whole, like for one, I definitely want to talk about colorism. So colorism, can somebody explain that you know, to the audience? What is colorism? Like, you can just say it out. And if it gets too crazy, I'm gonna have to tell you to raise your hand or something. But
I I could I don't I
what is
guess
colorism?
start it
Like, let's explain this to people, because some people don't know what that is.
off. From my understanding, colorism is pretty much it is it's pretty much praising on just uplifting more Eurocentric features and phenotypes over um, other maybe indigenous or other Afrocentric uh, um, features and phenotypes. And it's pretty much the establishing that the Eurocentric perspective is on aesthetics is the proper perspective. I will also add that colorism is the stepsister, or probably the little sister of racism. So when you usually have um, communities that are affected by racism, you will also find that within that community they are affected by colorism as well. So.
Okay. Anybody else want to expand on that?
I guess I can give a more simplified version of that too, because I would say he's correct in all of that. But just having prejudice or discrimination against someone with a darker skin tone, generally within our same ethnic group, is another way to put it, but in more simplified terms. Doesn't mean that that's the full definition, but I feel like that helps explain it as well.
Yeah. Okay.
I just wanted to kind of expand, well, not expand the scope, but just kind of like describe it, I guess to a point to a T. So like some of the other audience members who are not Black, they understand, like they understand like what we're talking about within the discussion. So
No,
I it was nothing.
No, I appreciate that breakdown because I think that helps people understand too. So how does colorism interfere with dating? And this question is for everybody. How does that interfere with maybe your dating or just in general?
How doesn't it? That's a better question. How does it not interfere with dating? Just want to say hi to everybody, but it's not. Colorism, from my understanding, is something that's unfortunately universal. My family's from El Salvador, and I've seen it plenty of times where if you have more indigenous features, it's not as favorable as, let's say, having more, as he said, European features, and it affects dating because I've had situations where my own relatives would just tell my cousins and things like that, like, you should get somebody with blonde hair, blue eyes, and with light skin, and this and the third. So you could have these good-looking beautiful grandchildren, and all this other stuff, and it does affect it, and it does affect it, and it does affect it in the sense that your peers also are going to look at your partner in a different way. If I bring around a woman who's darker skin, darker hair, darker eyes, they're going to look at her way differently, usually more negatively than a woman, let's say, who is lighter skin, blonde hair, blue eyes. I think it just, unfortunately, it pervades everything, because it's like you said, you're uplifting a certain standard of beauty that, number one, most people don't really have anyway, so it's kind of dumb. And number two, and to piggyback what he said, I don't even think it's a stepsister racism. I think in a way it kind of is racism, because you're saying, no, this is superior to everything, right? If you look European, and not just European, by the way, like Italian or Greek, no, a specific type of European, then that's better than everything else, So it definitely affects dating, and I think, and I've heard it happening, of course, in the Black community, Latino community, Asian community, all types of communities, and it's really sad.
Yeah. Anyone else want to chime in on that? I want to give people space to speak if they want to. Okay, that's enough. So, all right. So, has it affected you in particular? Now I'm gonna make it personal. Has colorism affected you?
I would say, yeah. Like, I could think of a quick experience when going to St. Philip's College, and how hearing comments like, "Oh, she's pretty for a dark girl."
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you just make a compliment and not put that tag behind it?
Yeah.
Like, I've gotten that a lot, not just there, but it did happen a lot in school, and it was amazing to me in a crazy way, because to me, yes, St. Philip's College is diverse, but it's predominantly Black. So for your own people to even say something like that, it's frustrating and annoying, because we should be the main ones uplifting each other. You know what I mean? So that's when it's always stuck with me, because it's not something that just happened in college. It happened in high school, and it still happens to this day, just not as prevalent.
Exactly. And those are the comments I've heard growing up as well, and I'm sure every Black woman has heard that comment of like, "Oh, you're pretty for a Black girl," or "Oh, you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl," or whatever. "Oh, your hair's pretty. It's not all like nappy,"
or others, but they might say
crazy stuff.
Others, they might say, "Are you mixed?"
Yeah.
As if you couldn't already have those features on your own.
Yep, I've absolutely had that. I've had somebody not accuse me, but think that I was Indian. I've had people say, "Oh, you must be mixed with white." Why? Why am I mixed with white? Like, what makes you think I'm mixed with white? Like, it bothers me to no end. And I had to call out a guy on it too. I always call out people. You know me, Erin. You know me.
Mm-hmm.
I had to call people out. I'm like, what? Why? Why do you think I look Indian? And they couldn't really, they were too embarrassed to say why. Oh, it's because you're tall. Nah, that ain't the reason, boo boo. It's something else.
That's so bogus.
Call you out, no, that doesn't even make sense.
Oh God!
That would have made me laugh so hard in front of them.
I was really appalled by that, because you're saying that my beautiful Black sisters are not pretty, and that, to me, that irks me.
On their own. Yeah.
It's not a compliment to tell me, "Oh, you look pretty for a Black girl." That's not actually
that's an insult.
That's an insult to my race. And you have insulted me, so you can get the fuck out of my face. Like, period. Like that, Like, I've had those comments and I'm done. I'm over it. But, yeah, I'm sorry. Does anybody want to talk about that? Sorry.
I mean, just to kind of just to piggyback off of what you were saying. It's like I don't even know if I could say like the hilarity of it. It's like I find it like it's just the tragedy of it is that the same features that Black women are, I guess, despised for,
Right.
they are in a lot of other cultures. They are often copied.
Yeah.
So with us within our community, we always appreciated a big, thick girl. Within our music, even if she may not be thick, if she had the cake, if she had the bubble, we appreciated that. We loved that.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of, and you could even talk about, I guess, even within the Latina community, and everything else like that. They appreciate that. But other cultures, they don't appreciate that up until recently.
Right.
because now it's popular. So like even the same hairstyles that you like you see a lot of the sisters walking around with the cornrows and everything else like that. Oh, that's ghetto. That doesn't look professional. Now you seeing all these white girls walking around with cornrows and this and that and everything else like that. So it's just like it's insane that like these are the things that our sisters are just pretty much they're like looked down upon, but you have somebody else just pretty much appropriating it. So I know this is kind of it goes kind of a little bit left field, but that's something I just definitely wanted to add it in because it adds to the to I feel like I feel like it's a part of the conversation.
Absolutely.
It definitely is.
Add that in. That's relevant to the conversation, you know. What do you think about colorism in media or music? How is it used against us? Right? It's used against us in a lot of ways. And I could go on and on about movies and media, but I want to get the platform to you. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I was actually just about to say that. It's something that from the time that you're young, like I know I've seen it personally, like when you don't even know what type of female you're looking for, or what type of female you want to be with, all you do is turn on the television and you see, oh, it's the light-skinned girl that everybody wants that's walking in the classroom. They're all just looking at this girl, her hair down, and actually growing up, and I do believe that I guess media and media has definitely influenced it. I've always said it's because I'm Latin that I just like my girls with their hair down. Like I've always said that I was like, oh, it's just a Latin thing. That's why I insist on all my girls having their hair down. But then I realized when I was younger and my mom used to watch the novelas, what I used to see looking at the novelas, oh, it's the same light-skinned girl, hair down, always have their hair the same exact way. I watch these movies, the romantic lead is that light-skinned girl with her hair down.
Yep.
And I watched even the old school music videos. Who was the one that was more centered? There could be a lot of girls, but the one that you see the most is the light-skinned girl with her hair down. It could be a whole bunch of black girls, but it'll be the lighter black girl that ends up being in the middle of the video. So it's almost like you're being programmed to think to yourself, oh, this is what's attractive. This is what you should go after from when you're young and you even pay attention to media. Like, I remember when I started rapping, I said to everybody, oh, I want to be LL Cool J. Like, that was my big thing. I was like, oh, I want to do the girl songs like LL Cool J and get the girls like LL Cool J. And then
Tanya.
when you look at
Perfect.
the LL Cool J videos, look at the girls that he always goes after. It's the light-skinned girls. It's never the dark-skinned girls. It's always the girl that she's black, but she's lighter than everybody else. And it's like, man, like, you start thinking to yourself, how many music videos do you really see that has like a dark-skinned girl in it? And it's almost like you don't think it's colorism at first because in your mind, oh, she black, we all black. But then you really sit back and think about it, and you're like, yo, you're really being programmed to feel that this is attractive and this is not. And I know in the junior high school I went to, everybody made fun of everybody. So it was just, there was no holds barred. And I realized that the darker skinned girls got it worse. When the girls used to basically make fun of each other, the dark skinned girls used to get it worse. Like, oh, why you mad black? Like, you mad black should not be an insult. Should not be a diss. Like, look how black you are. You out in the sun and this, that. And that's the way black girls would talk to other black girls in school. And it's just crazy when you really think about it, how you're just programmed to see things that way,
Yeah, that's so true.
It's just
for me in school, I was basically the only black girl. So so I got it all kinds of different, I got it all
directions.
All directions. So yeah. But yeah, media is notorious for that. I have literally stopped watching music videos because of that. I told Arian this and Tanya this. I don't watch any shows or movies like, and I'm programming myself for all the movies and all the shows, they need to have relevant BIPOC characters. If they don't have relevant BIPOC characters, I will not watch it. You know, that's just my thing. I'm not pushing it on anybody else. So you think the way you want to think. I don't care. I don't judge you in any way, shape, or form. If you want to watch Friends or if you want to watch whatever show, I don't care. That's you, you know, but I'm not going to waste my brain cells on anything but relevant BIPOC characters. And that could be Hispanic, Asian, Black, anybody. Just please, like, don't give us all this whitewash stuff. I'm done with it.
Thank you.
So.
Our roles don't always have to be that we're drug dealers or we're the token Black person or.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I hate the token Black
That's
person.
why I say relevant. I don't
Like, I don't want to be the actress that's the prostitute in every movie. Nah, I'm a little bit better than that.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Yeah.
Do I have to be the cook? Do I have to be the janitor?
Oh my gosh.
Or the not even the cook, the janitor, the sidekick, the magical.
sidekick.
Speaking about
role.
sidekick, let's talk about side chicks also.
Oh,
Be
you're
the side
right.
chick.
The mistress.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Side chick.
Mhm.
Just, yeah,
Side chick, a lot of times gonna be a
one of the
Latin
things
woman
that
or a Black
bugged me
woman.
out.
Mm-hmm. That's
That's
so.
one of the things that bugged me out with Scandal. It just irked me that
Yeah, I stopped watching Scandal for different reasons.
it was just like, seriously? What,
Like, I
really?
can enjoy the show, but at the same time, when I do look back at it, there's also the whole the white man and the Black woman scenario and how it goes so much deeper than that in the way they did that role.
It was just, it's like, it really, like, I'm like, yo, come on, we could do a little bit better than this. But since we bringing up BIPOC characters, I have to shout out Kim for teaching me that, because I had the first time she said that, I had no idea what the hell she was saying.
Like, come
And she
again?
actually broke it down. BIPOC, like Black, Indigenous people of color.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
But even when you have characters for people of color, if you notice, there's not even a full color range within that.
Mm-mm.
So
It's
when
always
we,
like if they put one in there, they're like, oh, that's it. We got one. We good.
but even with that, there is, like, how many Black, and I mean Black, I mean actual visible dark-skinned leading actresses, or even leading actors. It's a little bit better for Black men, just a slightly, just a little bit.
Yeah, you're right.
But with Black women, how many actual Black leading actresses have you seen recently that you can say, okay, yo, she's Black, that didn't look a certain way, that they didn't have a certain aesthetic, they didn't look like, okay, she's Black, but you know, she's mixed or something else like that, or
What
even
what's
other
her name?
characters.
What about the hair? I'm curious about that. How do you feel?
Even with, so like
Just
it's
a little bit, but I'm curious to know what you think about the hair, because the hair for me is another one that
They play with
yeah, like I feel. I'm sorry.
You fighting a fly?
Yeah, man. I had to lay the smack down.
Good luck.
Lay the smack down.
came out of nowhere. I was like, what is going on right now?
I thought you was fighting racism for a second. I don't know what's
No,
going
no,
on.
I guess racism came in the
not?
form of a fly.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, you know, you catch these hands. Ain't
Fighting
like
against
that.
colorism. Go ahead, Will.
No, but
Go, champ.
like, so yeah, so like I do notice sometimes with with the hair, like there's always a certain, okay, so they look light, but it's curly just enough so she looks Black, or
Curly
she look,
adjacent.
all right, okay, yeah, you know, but it's never a full range of just Black. It's never just like you never see the full scope of Black. And it's just, that's something that is very telling. This is why I get mad at people when people say that, you know, the media is quote unquote left leaning, because in actuality it really isn't.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, right now it seems to be, I can't even argue that progressivism is what's driving the country. You know, but like for now, this is what TV shows may try to
Placate.
placate. You out here getting tongue tied.
Yeah.
Placate to, but it's then again, it's really not. And you see that hypocrisy because it's
I
not.
don't think it's, I'm sorry, I don't think it's a hypocrisy. I think the people, I guess you could say the people on the ground are left leaning, right? And kind of diverse. The actors, the actresses, the producers, the writers, directors. The problem is that the people making the decisions in the boardrooms, those people are not progressive. Those people are not left leaning, and those rooms are not diverse.
Yeah.
You know, you have a bunch of old white guys who've been, when I mean old,
Really?
making decisions. You know, and that's why you only see, and you know, again, this is recently, to get a little off topic, it's the 15th anniversary of the 40-Year-Old Virgin. They were talking about it, and they're talking about the black actor in that movie, a guy by the name of Romany Malco, and everyone's like, how come he didn't have a bigger career? And if you watch the movie, Kevin Hart shows up in the movie, and he kind of steals the scene, and everyone's like, yeah, because Kevin Hart came along. The way it works is this: you only get one. There was Jennifer Lopez, and that's it. There was Eddie Murphy, and that's it. There's only one of each. Now, a white actor or actress, there could be a bunch of them. But, you know, a black actor or a black actress, Latino actor, Latino actress, there's only be one at a time. That's it. You can't have more than one. You know, Kerry Washington, that's it. You can't have more than one on TV at that time, you know?
It was there to just appease the community.
A token. It's a token.
Yeah, basically. Even with kind of talking about what you made me think about, Brian, was how some of the actors and actresses was talking about the different award shows. When you talk about the white board of directors, that's what they were even saying. They were saying that because it was, you know, a matter of where, yes, people of color, Latin, Black, and other colors will get some awards, but not the majority. And not that they're asking for the majority, they just want more representation. And several actresses and actors were saying that same thing about how, well, we need to move that up to the board of directors, because at the end of the day, they're the ones making the decisions on those awards. But they can't connect. They don't relate and they can't connect because only just a bunch of white men making that decision. And I think that plays a huge part in determining who gets certain roles as far as that goes, as well as the awards.
Yeah, I stopped watching awards.
I have actually too.
You're there for 3 or 4 hours, and it's always the same bullshit. It's like,
well, I've always thought they're BS anyways.
Yeah,
like it was rigged.
Al Pacino has one Oscar. One.
Really?
Think about that for a minute. Only one.
Leonardo DiCaprio, one. That's
Only one. So it's like, and they're white dudes. So I just, you know, like they're BS. They're bullshit. You know, The Godfather didn't even win Best Picture when it came out. It's a circle jerk. You know.
Yeah,
man, I could think of a lot of good movies.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they won for.
Sorry, Will. Go ahead.
I think Godfather. I think he won for. I think him and De Niro, they both won for Part 2. Like,
no, Pacino. I'm sorry, Pacino won for Dog Day Afternoon, and that was like Denzel's Oscar. It was a gimme. It was a makeup for all the crap because the other times they didn't give him one. And I think, but you're right. De Niro did win one for Part 2. But the point I'm trying to make is like it's BS, and a lot of people are talking about this online now. It's just like, why are BIPOC, as Kim would say, actors and creators and actresses and whatnot, seeking validation from people that don't really care? I never understood that. Every year I see these award shows, and no, the whole year I hear these award shows don't matter. The Oscars and Grammys don't matter. Okay, cool. They don't matter. They don't. And then when the awards do come around, well, why don't they include us? I'm like, well, wait a minute. We can't have it both ways. You can't say it doesn't matter on one hand and then get mad. No, they don't matter.
Exactly.
And I don't think these creators and these Black creators and these Hispanic creators and Asian creators need validation from these avenues. They really don't.
That's true.
I think it does. I think it doesn't, but I also think that it does. All right, and the reason being is because that winning an Oscar, winning an Academy Award, winning a Grammy, it's like it's a stat boost. It's like for my Naruto fans out there, it's like it's pretty much, you know, like, all right, so I could go Sage mode now. You know, so like it it definitely does matter. The issue is that because it's so slighted against us, it's slighted against a black and brown and just pretty much people of color creators, who they can't really, it's not geared for us really to tell our stories. That's what happens. So we get left out. We are we are excluded. We are a lot of our passion projects, they're not met with the same enthusiasm and the same love as, you know, someone else's. And, you know, we are also a thing that you have to, you have to acknowledge that, you know, winning an Academy Award as a creative, that's the highest honor. So even if we just kind of take out the racial element, we take out the inequality element, like that's, everybody wants to win that. Every singer wants to win a Grammy for their album. Every a Broadway actor wants to win a Tony Award. Every actor wants to win an Oscar. Or an Emmy. We even have a category for those who won all four. So these things, it definitely does matter. Now, what I think, what we have to do, definitely Black people, but I think that we need to start creating maybe our own awards, and we actually need to start showing love to the award shows that we have that are geared for celebrating us, celebrating our stories.
Don't
you
we
know,
have
so
the awards?
that's I was just about to say that. So, you know, so the BET Awards. For a while, the BET Awards are sinking, and I think somebody got back and started building it up. So now it's a quality awards show now.
Yeah.
But like we need to put more prestige in somebody winning a BET Award, or somebody winning an NAACP somebody
Image
winning an
Award.
Image Award.
Yeah.
Like we need to put more
NAACP
prestige into that. Like,
Award,
listen, okay, so they may not acknowledge you, but yo, we're gonna wrap our arms around you. You told our story. You did good by us. You know, because
Right.
there's a lot of creatives who will tell a story, who tell stories that need to be told, and they will never get the accolade. Ooh, why am I having problem with words right now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
No.
we know what
They'll never get the acclaim and the accolades that they deserve, because it's a story that people don't want to hear.
So, Will, let me stop you there for a minute. I appreciate that. That's great. I just want us to stay on topic. So,
I just wanted to.
But let's stay on topic. So, the next thing I want to talk about is interracial dating. So, do you date interracially? A, and B, why or why not? So I'll start. Yes, I do. As Arian and Tanya have been through my love valleys and mountains. Yeah, I do. I love everybody. I told Will the other day I'm an equal opportunity employer. You know, I give everybody, an opportunity. Like, why not?
Even if it is for 2 seconds.
Like, let's get to know each other. But after
You missed it. Did you hear me, Kim? I said even for 2 seconds.
even for 2, what does that mean?
Because you'll cut a person off with a quickness.
That's another thing. No, we get into that just yet.
Yeah, that'd be a whole nother topic of conversation.
Fine. Maybe that's for another show.
Definitely.
Anyways, so yeah, I date internationally. I actually have dated internationally. I have.
All right.
Anyways, throwing it out there.
Maybe think of a ludicrous song in a different area codes.
I
know. She did.
I got hopes. I got
Okay. Kim walks into the
Kim
room.
could
Left me with the
actually,
sun.
exactly. She did.
Oh man. Okay, so let's get back on topic. Just
All
wanted
right,
to crack a joke.
question was, the question is, do you date, interracially? Why or why not? Like, you can just be honest. Like, no, I don't because of this reason.
Well, I do, but I don't know. For me, it's not. I won't. Okay. So when I say that though, I haven't dated anyone that's white, but everybody else is a go for me.
Can I ask why you don't date white?
Because I don't think you're gonna relate to my culture or my ethnicity. I'm always feel like you have a different intention or motive. If some shit went down, and I don't mean illegal, you can't 100% relate to me. Like, I think a person of color has been through some similar struggles. We can give each other a head nod, a look, and we understand without having to always explain something. I shouldn't have to explain what you think is stereotypical of me, which might be my loudness. I don't have to explain my blackness. I don't have to explain why I can't stand why cops actions. I don't have to, you know what I mean? Like, and then I don't want to always hear, well, maybe it's this, or I'm already gonna make that determination in my head. I'm not one-sided. I'm three-dimensional. So that's already gonna run through my head. I don't need the person I'm with. I'm not saying the person I'm with should always be with me gung-ho, right or wrong. No. But I shouldn't have to fight society and fight you too. And not physically, but mentally and on emotionally. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying there aren't white people that don't relate, that do relate. There are. But for me, I don't want to have to play that what if game or that whack-a-mole game and figure it out. Are you that white person that can relate? So I haven't. Now, that doesn't mean I don't find you attractive. No, you can still be attractive, but it's just, I just don't go that route. So I just appreciate and love people of color. So that can be black, that could be like it's a mix for me.
Anybody.
Other than that side of things.
Gotcha. No, that's you, and that's totally,
Yep.
and that's totally fine. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Uh, yeah, for me, it's definitely the relatable part of it. It's like, yeah, with things that go on, like I've even had, like, I have conversations with all different type of white women, white people in general. And there's one thing that I know, especially where I work, I, even when I went to school, like when I was in John Jay, I always felt like, yeah, we couldn't relate. You know what I mean? It's almost like the struggles, you'll never really understand it. All you could do is go, oh wow. Because I used to get those a lot, the oh wows, and I used to just shake my head like, oh gosh, like, is that the oh wow? Because you're just trying to get me to move on and go away,
Or the
or is it
sympathy plea.
the
That's when I
exactly?
say, oh
I don't want
wow.
this.
Oh wow.
I don't want the
Yeah,
sympathy plea.
I
Oh,
want to stop the conversation.
yeah. So I think it does have a lot to do with relatability and just like social issues and all that stuff. Like I got listen, I've heard white women talk about how much they love Trump just recently, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like just
yeah.
those type of things. I'm just like, nah, you wouldn't understand my disagreements with these things. You wouldn't understand why I care about my people the way I do. Like a lot of times it's like I had a conversation, and this was just a random conversation with somebody that was coming to pick up their stuff at my job. And she said, oh, hey, good to see you, long time, blah, blah, blah. And she just started talking about different things and what she's doing and going back to school. And she brought up a podcast, and she made sure to tell me, oh yeah, and he's black.
Mm.
And I'm thinking to myself, so you have to throw that in? Are you trying to sound cool? Are you trying to
Trying to connect with
sound
me.
like exactly
That's
like
what they're
it's
trying to do.
just the fact that I ask these type of questions is why I've never really saw myself dating a white woman. It's just I just always feel like it's either oh you'll date me because oh look see, look, I could date a black guy.
Mm.
Or any other assumption or whatever. You trying to show your friends, or you trying to look cool, or you trying to look progressive, or I'm
Yeah.
always going to question these
Yep,
things.
intents and
Why I
motives.
just exactly, which is why I just, I pass on that.
Yeah, I pretty much just to piggy bank what everybody is saying. Hold on, give me one moment.
All right. So while he's talking, or taking a moment, yeah, like, so what do you think if you see a couple that is, like the man's black and the woman is white? In your mind, and I'm asking this to everybody, do you feel like, oh, she's using him, or oh, he's using her, or oh, like they're just experimenting? What is your first thought when you see that?
Jungle fever.
And my first thought is, she ain't gonna. He
Side,
said,
like on her side.
my first thought is Cam, let me laugh for a second.
We're black, we're gonna automatically side with our side, right? So that's why I'm asking this. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, they're not gonna be able to relate. And that's why I say that for me too. That's my first thought. Now I could be making an assumption, and I could probably be wrong. Maybe that's a down white chick that will be there at the protest and will be there if something was to happen to their boyfriend or husband. But I've seen too many stories in the newspaper and the articles and some other areas that it makes me question that a lot of the times. So yeah, not gonna be able to relate.
Yeah, I did hear a story a few actually, where the woman dates black, but then she married someone that was white, and
or the reverse.
Or reverse.
Or the black man marries a black woman, comes on up, and then later marries a white woman.
Or the white guy who dates black women but then marries a white girl. So it's like you never know. It's just like what happened?
And that's why I always wonder about the intents and motives.
Mm-hmm.
And you never know. It's a gamble.
Mm-hmm.
A gamble of your feelings and a gamble of your emotions, and sometimes a gamble of your money. If you're rich,
I don't know. I guess it just doesn't affect me like that, especially when I see the guy that they with, and it's just like, okay, the black culture didn't need him anyway. You could keep him. You could definitely keep him. Nobody was looking at him anyway.
Or
I'm just kidding, but it doesn't faze me.
he ain't that cute, so I see why she picked him.
I mean, but most of the time, I'm just joking. I was joking. Most of the time, if I do see those guys, they have to be successful. They had to be in a position where they can grab that woman. I feel like it's more of a money thing, because if he was broke, most of the time those women are coming from that particular area. So if they lived in New Orleans and that lady is from New Orleans, but she lived in the Goose. The Goose is like the Night Wall, Lower 9. It's a really pretty hood area. Really, you already seen it. You've been there.
Yeah, hood rich.
It's not even hood rich. It's hood.
No, but I mean it's rich in hoodness. Hoodness is not a word, people. Okay, just making up words. But it's yeah. That's what I mean when I say that. I don't mean rich in dollars. I mean
drug
saturated.
addicts right there on the corner. Like you could just drive down the street and there you go, you have drugs right there. So if they came from an area where they understand kind of the culture, then you'll see them with mostly guys that's a little bit more not as sophisticated, if that makes sense. More, drug dealers are still working lower paying jobs or something like that. And they're okay with that because they lived in that area. They grew up in that particular situation. So you'll see most of those women like that. They grew up in that area with those type of men. But if you see a woman with a man that looks like, let's put one out there, Russell Wilson, because he was dating married to actually a woman of Caucasian descent. And of course, later on, he ended up dating Sierra or marrying Sierra. But you see how his status and the way, he was just dating this woman in college. He was already a football player in college. See how that, it's like people are not looking at, okay, these people got money. Lil Wayne, literally, guys. Come on, y'all. This dude only has one dread. You see the women he's been with? Have y'all seen it? He has one dread. But have you seen the women he's been with? It's money. I'm just saying, even the men that don't make as much money as Lil Wayne, they are making 6 figures and up. Those men think that being with those women are success. That means that they accomplished something. And that's when you're going to see men like that with them, of course, because most of them did go to school with mostly Caucasian people.
Yeah.
And so that's what they're used to as well. So I can't really judge, because most of the time if I do see it, it's just like, okay, well, it is what it is. It's more of a, I didn't want you anyway. You didn't look like somebody I would date anyway, so you did the right thing. You did the right thing by everybody.
So you brought up a good point about proximity, right? I was talking to my hairdresser last year, because I don't go to the hairdresser no more. But I was talking with her, and we talked about interracial dating, and she brought up a good point that you kind of touched on, Tanya, about, well, it's hard for people to date in, interracially, because it depends on the proximity. So who is your circle? Like, who are you around? And if all you're around is white, you're gonna date.
You're likely to date.
Exactly. Most of the time, it's that.
You're gonna date black. Like, but if you're around all different types of people, you are more,
susceptible, maybe.
Yeah, to possibly date other
people.
That all depends on your family background and like how you grew up too. But I thought that was a really good point. I'm like, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's totally proximity. Like, what does everybody else think? You think it's proximity, or it's a mix?
I think it's a mix. I mean,
that too. Because, like I said, Lil Wayne being an example, he grew up in New Orleans. That's not the population is mostly black. You got a lot of white too, so it's probably like half and half. But he grew up in the hood. But his mentality, the systematic racism of our minds, think that lighter skinned people are better. He would say it in his music. Same thing for 50 Cent. Grew up in this area, but when he came up, or when he started making more money, look what he looks at now. He was like, I don't want to look at anybody that look like they just jump off a boat. What? N-word, what the hell you look like?
Right, for real.
You're like, you've been swimming behind the boat. Get the hell out of here.
But
and the propellant
out of here.
Something, right? Yeah, that's so
honestly, I feel that this is just kind of bringing it back to colorism. I don't know if y'all touched on it yet, because I had to step out real quick.
No, it's the same. It's the same.
It's the same. Yeah,
but
it's the same thing.
Especially with I can't talk on other communities, but I know for the Black community, we have a hard time not understanding that colorism most likely it affects and probably perverts our understanding of preference.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and so a lot of times, so we think, and this is me having conversations with other Black men, that they think that it's okay to prefer a lighter skinned woman over a darker skinned woman. It's okay to prefer to say, well, you know what, she looks better. Well, why does she look better? She looks better because she's white. And you kind of I think you keep I don't know if the ladies could maybe speak on that. I think there might be an inverse with that too.
No, it's true. It's true.
I don't want to speak for y'all, but like
you can speak if you know what you're talking about, and it's true.
But I feel it just like in general with the community, like we don't understand. I had so many conversations with people. I'm like, yo, this is not normal. What do you mean it's not normal? Like, I just like her. Like, she's like, that's what I like. And I try to break it down. And people sometimes they push back. Well, you like, it's still my preference. They're not understanding, no, your preference has been subverted by colorism. So this is not really what you like. This is what you've been programmed to like.
Exactly. systematic.
Yeah. Let me stop you there, Will. I'm sorry. Let me stop you there so we can continue.
No.
But yeah, like, thank you for bringing that up, Will. And we're going to go ahead and bring this to a close. But again, I just want to reiterate what everybody has been saying. Just for one thing, you know, for the audience, I want you to really double check, look at your preference. Why do you like white? Why do you like black? Like, just kind of break it down and don't be so quickly swayed into what the media deems as beautiful. You know, I was just talking with a beautiful trans woman today, and we just talked about, you know, being beautiful and beauty and why one culture thinks, you know, this is considered beautiful, and if you're trans, you're not beautiful at all. Like, you're just you're just completely pushed out of society. Why is that? We got to look at what we're watching, right? We got to look at what we're listening to. Are all of those things already programmed into your brain from all of those different facets? And you just have to just break it down and start anew, you know, just kind of like, and that's for those who actually want to, right? Some people just, they're good with just whatever the media feeds them. The BS, no problem. I'm gonna eat that BS up, right?
Yeah, let me get a whole platter.
Get a side of BS, you know, like, you know, they don't have a problem with it. But if people are, if you're listening and you want to be open-minded and you want to, like, yo, like, you're right. Like, I don't want to just be programmed with what the media and the news and everything's telling me what to do. First thing you need to do is Google, read a book, you know, open up your mind to what is beautiful to you. Why do you think it's beautiful? Is it because of the commercial or what, right? So I'm challenging you, go out there, find out why you like certain things and break it down, figure it out. So yeah, so that's basically it. Does anybody want to say anything else before we end?
Read.
Read a book.
Honestly, like, you know, like, definitely read. Definitely.
Yeah, educate yourself.
Yeah.
Educate yourself about dark skin culture. It's kind of like a culture, I feel like.
Yeah.
Educate yourself.
Just definitely educate yourself, but challenge the reasons why you like certain things or you feel like you're attracted to certain things. Because I feel that there is, I feel that, once again, if you really analyze it, you may feel there might be unhealthy reasons for whatever attractions you may have. And I definitely feel like with us as a community as a whole, we have a hard time doing this because this is really an uncomfortable conversation. So we like to hide behind, well, that's my preference, whatever. And it's like, it's about time you have to, like, no, this is not your preference. Like I said before, this is not what you like. This is what you've been programmed to like.
Yeah.
And you have to come to the realization of that, because right now, what we're seeing right now is with the generation before us, with our generation, is going to keep passing down.
Yeah.
And it's just it will keep passing this poison down to the kids who are going to turn to adults and in turn poisoning their kids. And at some point, we have to sit down and we have to stop it.
Yeah.
Because it is ruining us. Just one quick anecdotal. I don't know. Everybody is. I don't know if everybody's. Everybody has seen on the media or maybe social media with the video with this rapper chick Mulatto. She was making fun of her her hair stylist, was supposed to be her best friend, I think, and pretty much she was dark skinned. Like, the fact that Shorty's calling herself Mulatto, like, she thinks that's a cool thing to call herself. She thinks that's a dope rap name. She's calling herself Mulatto.
Right? Who is she again?
Her name is Mulatto.
Oh, who is she?
She's supposed to be a rapper.
Oh, nobody.
She's supposed to be up and coming. But, like, the fact, like, this is how prevalent this shit is. Like, you're calling yourself something that was, like, that's not good.
Yeah, that's.
And, like, we don't, like, it's just, like we gotta read. I can keep going, but
stop watching music videos. Like, honestly, like, why are you watching them? They fill you with so much envy and probably jealousy and probably, oh, I wish I was this and I wish I was that. Like, that gets people just discontent with their life, like, just be happy with who you are. Don't be, brainwashed with whatever the media and the music videos are telling you what to like and, oh, to be rich and this and that. Maybe not everybody wants to be rich. Maybe not everybody wants that, right? So, like, come on.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't like that. I'm over the music video scene. Like, stop watching music.
Oh, not the music
No,
video.
that's a good thing. You shouldn't be analyzing these people anyway. The people that you should be analyzing.
It ain't even just a music video.
It should be the people that raise you, and sometimes those people is not the people you want to be
Some of those people are toxic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to, start thinking for yourself, like you said, like Will said, educate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Understand Black culture. Well, not Black. I say African American history because I'm not a color. I'm African American.
Yeah.
But start looking at that, and understanding how. We come in different shades. African American women can make all shades of how you think most of y'all was born. Y'all wasn't Brian B. You came from us. I'm just
Everyone
saying,
did.
like
Everyone, all people come from Africa. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Even the Caucasians, they came from us. We convert
100%.
all nations. This is what we birth, and this is proven in fact. Do your research.
That's right.
That's it. That's the end of it. Do your research.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Well, with that, thank you all for coming on the show. Talk about colorism and interracial dating and all that jazz. So thank you, and thank you, audience, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
okay, y'all.